One of the most enticing and mesmerizing things about K-pop is the visual aspect of it. Those who aren't in the K-pop world can agree that the music videos can put someone in a trance within seconds. Whether it's neo-futuristic or just plain colorful, all these concepts leave their fans yearning for more. Ever wondered about the masterminds behind these projects? Well, one name that has been snatching titles like the Soribada K-Music Award for Best Music Video and the Simpy Award for Best Hanryu. The name goes to ZANYBROS. They have generated over 1,000 successful music videos and have become the largest production company in Korea. They have worked with big stars like BTS, Mamamoo, G-Idol, Card, and even K-pop original pioneers Sotaeji. Kpop Wise had the pleasure to have a conversation with some of the industry professionals that are the driving force behind ZANYBROS at Otakon. Mr. Kim Jong-hong co-founded ZANYBROS with college friend Won Ki-hong back in 2001. Today, ZANYBROS has ventured out to commercials and even created their own personal content under ZANY TV, which harnesses millions of views each month. However, it doesn't stop there. ZANYBROS also owns ZB Label, which is responsible for the production of K-pop singer Alexa. Mr. Kim Jong-hong had some help with the marketing, production, and creative direction aspect of things. This is where Angelina Foss comes in the picture. She started with ZANYBROS back in 2014 and is now the head of ZB Label. Her contributions include being the creator of the global K-pop content for ZANY TV, her involvement with Simpy's Rising Legends, where Alexa was discovered, and even being her creative director. She has assisted Alexa with anything from training and managing to A&R and visual direction. Angelina was there for every step of the way before and after Alexa's performance on American Song Contest. Now, who would be responsible for Alexa's constant trending campaigns? Now, that would be none other than Jenny Zha. She is the CEO of Infinitize, a marketing consultancy which was founded in 2019 and has worked with a range of artists and entertainment tech companies. Not to mention, it has been featured in big publications like Billboard and Forbes. Prior to creating this company, Jenny started working for Simpy, where she later led the Simpy Awards and produced When You Call My Name, which is a Viki original documentary that featured R&B singer Gallant and K-pop stars Monsta X. She even created Rising Legends, where fans voted for their favorite talent. This competition collaborated with Cube Entertainment and JYP Entertainment. Now, all these intros are just a tip of the iceberg compared to their many accomplishments. So, without further ado, let's get into the conversation. Let's get this party started. How is everyone? Good. I guess I'll start with, how did your love for K-pop and K-drama start?
Oh my gosh. Wow. I want to know too. That's a really great question. Actually, it's not so much of an exciting story. I feel like I actually grew up watching a lot of Chinese dramas with my family. And then one day I just started watching a lot of Korean dramas as well, because I was watching actually Full House.
Yeah.
And then through Full House,
I love Full House.
Looking more into Rain and getting more interested, and then I discovered Super Junior. And so I was listening to a lot of Super Junior, and I feel like a lot of like Asian Americans, it's like to connect with our own cultures. It's like we watch a lot of like Asian-oriented content, especially with our families. And so, I was watching a lot of, just drama content with my mom, and so that's kind of how I started swerving into different lanes of, different Asian entertainment verticals. And back then, we, search, whenever you search online for news around like any Asian entertainment at all, you sort of stumble upon the Simpy forums, which is how I actually started working with Simpy. So it's all a very sort of merged together time of my life. Like I feel like I was just watching so much content. I was fan subtitling content too,
Yeah.
and so yeah, a very fun time.
That's awesome. I feel like we all live the same, the same life.
Yeah, for sure.
Second, so I know you started on Soompi as a fan. When did you feel like that shift changed from being a fan to actually making this like your career?
Oh my gosh, I don't think that I gave it much thought at all. And actually very luckily, I think right around the time that I was getting really into Korean entertainment, Soompi was starting their news division. And so I actually worked as a part of the intern team that launched Soompi News. And today, news is actually the main product for Soompi. And so that was sort of how I got started. And actually, it's so funny because we were just chatting with Victor from Otakon.
Yeah.
And one of my first initial interview feature pieces was on VIX at Otakon. They performed here in 2012.
VIX is our common...
Actually, yes. And so it was kind of like a throwback moment in terms of like, wow, you just do a thing which you think is a really small action. Like for me, it was just hitting a submit button for an internship, and now being able to get the opportunity to actually, do and work in the field that I love. So.
That's awesome. I love that. Angelina.
Yes.
So I'm Puerto Rican, and I know you're Chilean, so it meant a lot to hear like somebody Latina in Korean culture. Peru. Oh, nice. Latinos in the house.
Spanish. No, I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say, so what advice can you give to others who want to follow in your footstep and want to work in the industry but may not speak Korean or be Korean?
Oh, geez. My story was more like I started with studies. When I was in university my parents are Chilean, but I was born and raised in Sweden. So I just wanted to venture out from the forest in Sweden to something exciting.
Yeah.
IKEA has a limit to
IKEA.
But I applied to be an exchange student in Korea, and I was originally going for 1 semester. But it was so much fun, so I stayed for 12 years.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, so while I was studying, Korea felt so much fun, and it was an exciting time, 2010. Like K-pop was growing abroad, and Korean companies were looking into expanding to the global market. And when I was in Korea, a lot of companies were looking into the European and South American market, and so they needed global staff to help them to know their audience and all of that. So my Korean wasn't perfect, but I just studied a lot by myself and also prepared pre-doing like every kind of like work interview that I did in Korean. Mm-hmm. But as I was working, I learned a lot more, because there's one thing, reading books and going to class, but being in the field and having people correcting you and this and that, I think that as you learn. But also my recommendation is not every job out there is announced. So call different companies, email, try to be as active as possible. I did so much volunteer work for different K-pop events in Sweden, and I volunteer working on tours and this and that. So it's just like you gather network, and then you build your own experience, and then again just try to look for opportunities and don't just wait for them. That's an advice, and don't be scared.
Okay, because I'm terrified right now, so I'm just trying.
My first day at ZANYBROS, I was like, I have no production experience, but they were just like, just do it and you learn.
Of course. Okay, I'm gonna go this way because I don't know how much time I have. So, Jungho, how are you today? How do you keep up with trends to create so many successful music videos?
Wow. How do you keep up with trends?
First of all, my English is not so perfect, so you need a translation.
Okay.
Yes.
That's my best ability.
Yes. 한국, yeah, thank you so much.
한국.
원래는 뭐라고 얘기해야 되지?
그냥 트렌드
트렌드지 않은데.
유가 근데 제 생각에는 감독님 항상 그 다음 스텝 생각하고 있어요. 그 다른 스타일로 만들고 싶어서.
한국에서는 사실 뮤직비디오라는 거는 어떤 K-팝에서 약간 스페셜 기프트 세트 같은 어떤 그런 거라서 계속 새로운 어떤 선물 박스의 패키지를 계속 생각을 해야 돼서 항상 어떤 영화를 보든지 항상 어떤 드라마를 보든지 어떤 쇼를 보더라도 항상 그쪽으로만 계속 생각을 새로운 패키지를 만들기 위해서 계속 생각을 한다고.
It's like a special box, kind of, like a gift box. So it's you have to keep thinking ahead, and so you watch it. You take in a lot of content, like movies, different music videos, different kinds of content, music all over, and you have to think about the next and what to make and what to build on the box.
Oh, trendsetter.
Yeah.
So you're not really the trend, you're ahead of the trend. Cool. I like that. So what do you think makes K-pop special to the rest of the world?
K-팝은 아까 말씀드린 것처럼 정말 모든 이 안에 트렌드가 다 들어와 있는 건데 패션, 코스메틱, 그다음에 댄스, music, everything is put in one box. It is K-pop. Yeah, so many people, yes. Now K-pop finally be the trend.
Yeah.
Yes. And previously the K-pop is just only focused on Korea, but now it's different. It's just growing up the industry. So now K-pop is enjoying everywhere.
The culture. Yeah.
K-pop is culture.
Yeah.
Finally, yes. So
I love
K-pop is popular music, just pop music. Yeah.
Cool beans. I agree. To me, I feel like Korea, because I've never been, so Korea to me feels like Disney World. So you watch a lot of Disney movies, because I like dramas, so I watch a lot of like Disney movies, and then you go to Disney World to experience what you see in the movies.
It's so overstimulating.
So-
it's hard to take a break.
Is it?
Yeah, like almost like everything happens. It's very, to be honest, Korea is very inspiring just to walk on the streets.
I can imagine.
So
Yeah.
that's why just going to work, I love taking the subway. It's 1 hour for me, but I love being on the subway, looking at people, their fashion, their everything, their movements, and so much happens. So it is pretty much.
It feels like fantasy, right?
It is very much like it's overstimulating. Things happen everywhere. And there's so many screens now everywhere. So I'm like watching all kinds of commercials and.
Oh, I love that. I wish I could go. I'll go one day.
Yeah.
So Jenny, how do you describe that feeling of seeing your projects come to fruition?
Oh my god, these are such great questions.
How do you feel, Jenny, when we press the release?
Honestly, very surreal. Like, can't believe it's happening in real time. I'll make it fast so you can get to other people. But very surreal. Feels, like it's not happening. And I think we really think about the after effects after. Like,
Right.
After 1 year, I'm like, wait, I did that.
I know, right?
Yeah. Angelina, I know I asked you like one question. I had like a billion for you, but it's cool. What is your most memorable or favorite project you've worked on?
Oh, Alexa.
Yeah.
I cry every comeback.
Really?
I do, because it's like it all starts with one idea and one keyword, and then we build a full story, and it's really fun. Us building her entire universe and her story, and every time we release a chapter, I really get very emotional because I think Alexa is the perfect person to work with when you want to make a story, because she makes everything real that you thought that you had in your head.
Oh, she executes.
Yeah, and then we put it into paper and we put it into idea, and then she executes it and makes it real. So it really feels like TXT said, magic.
Yeah. You could just transfer all your thoughts to her and she just makes it real.
Every project in ZANYBROS is really emotional, but especially Alexa. For
Sweet.
us, she's like our little baby project that every time we can work 360 with her. Everything from music to album design. So that's why it's so much fun.
Yeah, she has a lot of charisma. I noticed she's hilarious.
She is
Yeah.
so much fun. So much fun. So yes.
So we have many experience in the K-pop industry. So our business goal is we are making a special unique style K-pop artist. So it's the reason why I thought we make the Alexa project.
Please look forward to
Yeah.
our upcoming projects.
I will.
When she comes back, she always cries. When she comes back, I'll die.
From exhaustion? Emotion or exhaustion?
When we film our last scenes, we're like, and now we have post-production.
Oh man, post-production syndrome.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of